Today we spoke about transition, and specifically moving from transition into triumph. How to move from point A, a place where a person is currently, to a point B, a more desirable place, and the steps to move through that period of transition to get to ultimately where they want to be. So it's about having a strategy, a strategic approach of moving forward and eliminating just constant wandering around a problem, stressing over it. Deals with any situation, any challenge that's going on in your life, and it doesn't even have to be a negative thing. They cause a lot of your emotional and mental energy that you're going through and spending time with. You can begin to feel better even before the situation itself starts to change. The strategy to identify the situation or problem that you are currently dealing with. Look at that and identify what do you want instead. So often you can deal with a challenge or struggle in your life and all you know is that challenge or struggle. But you don't even stop to ask yourself, what do I want instead? The brain needs direction. The brain is an organ that takes orders. You have to tell it what you want. And then as you tell it what you want, it can produce the appropriate behavior to get you where you want to go. But in the absence of a point B, you're just wandering around point A and you're just going in circles. You're wasting your time. And life is too short to be swimming around point A all your life. And actually in life, we have multiple transitions that are going on back to back. So this is a process of moving through and moving forward. And then it's just asking a series of logical questions. If you spend enough time on your emotional stuff, enough drama, I hate this, I'm sick of this, I'm tired of that. So now it's time to ask some logical questions to snap out of that emotional drain and that emotional drama. I'm going to give you all a list of questions, and it asks questions about your particular issue that you're dealing with. So for all of those that raised your hand and said that there is something that's going on in your life, it's going to ask you questions about that. Then it's going to ask, what do you want instead? Then it's going to ask you some questions about that. And when you break those questions down, if you read all of column A questions, it's going to look like your life is a total mess. But when you look at all the answers you put for where you want to be, it actually will become your roadmap and tell you actually how to get there. Everything there becomes your roadmap. So if you do those things and eliminate the things that you come up with from the column point A, you will definitely be well on your way to point B. And that's the beauty of this process. What we need is a roadmap to get us to the desired place.
Part 1. I see on the back the sample says something like, I'm not being able to make ends meet. To me, that's like a more tangible problem. My problem would be having anxiety or some emotional feelings about a certain situation.
So that'll become your problem state, and you want to transition from the anxiety to what? So instead of anxiety, what do you want instead? All right? So on that note, let me just ask you that. Do you know what you want instead?
Yes.
What?
I would like some peace.
All right. Well, how do you know when you get peace? How will you know when you get it? What evidence will you have? What will you see, hear, and feel? What will be around you that says, oh, I got peace? There has to be something in addition to the feeling, but there has to be some other evidence. In other words, by coming up with some evidence now, these things indicate these things happening in my life mean I have peace. What are those things? Then you're giving your brain something to work with. Oh, I see, when all my bills are paid, when I have proper child care and I have some freedom of time, then I have peace. So you're just being specific about what point B, what having peace is. What are the things that's going on around you that say, oh, I got peace?
With my problem question situation, I already knew I had the tool, but I had problem doing it every day. So you inspired me that that I can do it every day. And in order to get to B, I have to do it every day.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Plus, I
Perfect.
don't want to use the word
Yeah.
struggles and challenges.
Right.
I want to
That's-
use transition.
Yeah.
Instead,
That's
that's how
good.
my mind, my
Right.
brain.
That was
Yeah.
good.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just let me ask, from those questions, are any of them triggering stuff in you? Do they feel like they'll move you in a positive direction?
Yeah, I think when you like throw even the first question over, and of course the, ultimate point B takes more work and planning. Like mine is, I want to be enrolled into law school, but just the first portion of I want to be productive, active, engaged. That means I don't have to be idle or
Absolutely.
or bored.
Perfect,
first
yeah.
thing. So it just provides a good, I think, step one for being having a positive outlook.
Perfect.
As you said, going around and around and around, feeling frustrated, and it actually gives you a very structured approach to get
Absolutely.
from where you are and to where you're going. And once you have a structured approach in place, that takes away the anxiety.
Absolutely.
So you're right. You start
Yeah.
to feel better immediately. You say,
Yes.
okay, like I thought this question, what do you want instead? That's critical.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people, don't think about that we just keep going around with where you are, and you never think about, well, what do I want instead, and how will I know when I get there? That's very telling.
Yeah. My grandmother's 100. She'll be 101
Right.
next month.
Yeah.
November.
Yeah.
And I was sharing some of this with her. I call her Grandma. She said, I said, Grandma, so many people want to change. They want to improve the quality of their life. They want to get better. They want to feel better. She said, that's great, baby. That's fine. But how will they know when they get there? How will they know? What's changed? And so it made so much sense that you have to have something that says, but it gives you a signal, that it gives you evidence that says, I've arrived at that place. Because otherwise, success or whatever you aspire to get to just is a horizon. You never know when you get there. At what point do you say, I've arrived? Otherwise, people are just, that's why rich people keep wanting to be rich. They never got enough. They never got, it's like the hamster on a wheel. At some point, you have to say what the evidence is that says I got where I want to get. And I think that's one reason I have so much optimism in my life. I'm blessed with optimism, thank God. I think optimism itself is a miracle. If you have optimism, you got a miracle going on in your life. But I think one reason is because I know what my point B looks like. I know what the evidence is, and I'm there. You could say it don't get no better than this, but the beauty of that is you're happy. You feel good about your life, and that's the process of life overall. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again so much.
I have seen Brian speak on one other occasion, and I was really impressed then, and I'm doubly impressed now to see how he has taken all this information, everything that we've learned, and put it together in really jam-packed, really solid seminar. So I look forward to seeing a lot more action.
My name is Sharice Price. I'm an occupational therapist. As a therapist, we have our own list of resources, so to speak, but what I got out of this very informative course is that I can use the information, the outline that Brian has set up, to use as a resource for myself in accomplishing the goals that I really want to achieve. So I think he did an eloquent job of explaining to us so that we can understand the steps that we need to take, as well as how to set those goals and what it feels like to actually accomplish those goals. I think that was very key.
You did a great job. Very proud of you.
Everybody's dealing with something. Everybody has a transition that they're moving through. And I ask for a show of hands of those people that are moving through something. There's something that's stressful going on in their life, some challenge, some circumstance that's consuming a large amount of mental and emotional energy. So everybody had a point A, a problem state. And so ultimately, of course, they want to transition through to something better. So in that regard, because everybody could relate to problem states, they easily come up with strategies to move forward, and that's what we did. And in that process of helping them move through from point A to point B, you could see the relief coming into them just by having this knowledge. Every seminar I do, every presentation I do, every time I meet with an individual client, I'm always extracting some information. It's a big world out here, and you can never know everything. So every interaction, every workshop gives me more information. I always come away with more than I had before. Hearing real life scenarios, real life examples of what people are going through always imparts new insight and new knowledge to me. So for that, it's a learning process, not only for the group that I'm speaking to, but for myself as well.